I need to know, I need to know, yeah. Is it programming, social media, or a secret to uncover? So educating, so wise, informative and bright eyes. What's the evaluating game? Revelation is the aim.
I need to know, I need to know, I need to know. You need to know, you need to know, you need to know. We all need to know. What do you need to know? What do I need to know? What do we all need to know? Does Bible contradict itself? What is your answer? The answer is Bible did not, does not, emphatically contradict itself in any way. From Genesis to the book of Revelation, they are saying the same thing. The problem with you and I is that we translate it, or we read our thought to the mind of the author. We are thinking this is what the man is saying, instead of us to study and be able to know the answer. Let's look at the book of Genesis chapter 6, verse 19, versus Genesis chapter 7, verse 2. So that you'll be able to see, because Genesis chapter 6, verse 19 and Genesis chapter 7, verse 2 are often seen as a contradiction. But let's look and unpack it biblically, hermeneutically. So the text, when you study the book of Genesis chapter 6, verse 19 says, "And of every living thing, of all the flesh, 2 of every sort shall thou bring into the ark, to keep them alive with thee." To keep them. That means you have to, for them to continue reproducing, to keep them alive with thee, they shall be male and female. But Genesis chapter 7, verse 2 says, "Of every clean," it's not say every living, "of every clean beast, thou shalt take to thee by sevens, the male and his female, and of beasts that are not clean by 2, the male and his female." So some people think this place contradicts itself. So historically, the author is Moses. Traditionally, it's Moses. Setting, this book is written maybe before the flood. It's talking about the flood. God instruct Noah on how to preserve life through the ark. Purpose: preservation of creation and continuation of God's redemptive plan through Noah's family. So what is the literary context? Genesis chapter 6, verse 9 is a single flood, narrative by written in a repetitive Hebrew style. That is just like a repetitive Hebrew style that is common in ancient storytelling, emphasizing details through restatement and expansion. Genesis chapter 6, verse 19 gives the general principle. It's about general principle of 2 of every kind's animal. But Genesis chapter 7, verse 2 is a specific instruction, specific clarification, 7 pairs of clean animals. It's not saying on general. It's talking about 7 pairs of clean animal. So we need to know that. So what is the key Hebrew that you must be able to understand and look out for? So 2, it says 2, which means shenayim. Shenayim means basic pair for preservation of species. That is, you go to the market, or you go to the farm, or you go to the bush and get some animals, and you know that their species are going into extinction. That is, they are now into eradication. So you preserve them. That's what God is telling Noah in the book of Genesis chapter 9, verse 19. So sevens, it says sevens, that is in the book of Genesis chapter 7, verse 2. It says sevens, that is Shiva, means literally 7 by 7. often understood as 7 pairs, that is 14 animals. Though some take it as 7 individuals. Clean. It says clean, the 7 must be clean. That is tahor. Clean means tahor, which means not about hygienic, not about the hygiene, but ritual category. Later codified in Levitical animal acceptable for sacrifice and food. Before God will tell them, preserve this animal that are not blemished, that are clean. The animal that are clean, that are not blemished. So that is what is clean animal means there. Harmonization. There is no contradiction. Rather, 2 layers of instruction. God was giving 2 layers of instruction. Number 1, all animals, at least 1 pair, male and female, for survival of the species. Genesis 6, verse 19. Clean animals. Another instruction. First of all, take 2, male and female. Dog, male and female. Cow, male and female. Now it's now giving another instruction. Clean animals, that is 7 pairs, that is male and female. You must make sure that this one that you want to choose are very clean. Others is general, but this one in the book of Genesis 7 verse 2 is about clean animal, that is 7 pairs, making 14 or 7 of each kind, depending on the reading of clean animals were taken. So reason, what is the reason? What is the purpose? Clean animals will be needed not just for survival, but also for sacrifice after the flood, according to the book of Genesis chapter 8 verse 20, and possibly for food, anticipating Genesis chapter 9 verse 3. What is the significance of these 2 Bible verses? God's provision. He thought ahead. God always thought ahead, not just survival, but worship. So that the animals that Noah sacrificed for God is from the 7 that are clean, not from the 2 and 2 that he chose to continue to produce the breed. So sacrifice priority, even in survival. Worship of God through clean animals remain central. If you want to worship, if you want to sacrifice animal for God in the Old Testament, it must be clean. Not about you wash your body. No, it must be clean. That is, it must be blemished. No hurt. Maybe it's not having 1 eye, 1 leg. No, it must be clean. Covenantal foreshadowing. The distinction between clean and unclean anticipates Israel's later covenant laws. God of order. That is, the preservation plan was detailed and intentional. Common interpretation. Some people, the interpretation that people are giving to it, contradiction claims. Some skeptics says Genesis 6 and 7 disagree, but Genesis 7:2 doesn't contradict 6 and 9. It expands the instruction. Modern clean and unclean. Misunderstanding. People think of sanity category, but biblically, it's about ritual fitness for sacrifice. When it talks about clean, it's not about, you have bath. No, it's about the ritual aspect of it. In summary, Genesis chapter 6 verse 19 gives the general rules, 2 of its kind, that is 1 male, 1 female. While Genesis chapter 7 verse 2 provide the specific details. There is one, Genesis chapter 6 verse 9, give general details. Genesis chapter 7 verse 2, specific details that those that are clean make it 7 pairs, that is 14. Provided Genesis chapter 7 verse 2 provides the specific details that clean animal were to be taken in larger numbers for sacrifice and food. For far from contradiction, the 2 verses complement each other, highlighting God's foresight in ensuring both the preservation of creation and the continuation of worship. You can see that this thing, they harmonize. There is no place the Bible contradicts each other. Until tomorrow that we bring another Bible verse, I say shalom. Help us to share. Put your comment down. God bless you as you do so. Shalom.